Hey everyone, ready for a deep dive? Today we're wading into some pretty uh, controversial territory.
Oh, yeah.
The world of vaccinations and alternative health perspectives.
Buckle up.
All of this through the lens of an interview with Desiree Rover.
Yeah, she's a medical research journalist.
And she's got a story that might just, well, turn everything you thought you knew about health upside down.
So what's really interesting is that Desiree's whole journey, it didn't start in some lab.
Hmm.
It started with a really personal and kind of unsettling experience.
Oh.
Just imagine. You're 3 years old, hospitalized in Indonesia, separated from your mom for a week,
Oh, wow.
and they're running all kinds of tests.
Not the best start to life.
No, not exactly the way you want to build trust in the medical system, right?
Yeah, you can kind of see how that experience might have, planted the seeds for her distrust of conventional medicine later on.
Oh, absolutely.
It's like a foundation of skepticism.
Yeah, and that skepticism, it got even stronger when her own son was diagnosed with cancer.
Oh, wow. That's...
Yeah, a tough one. Must have been a difficult time.
It was. And Desiree basically moved into the hospital with him.
Really?
Yeah, she was there all the time. And she saw firsthand what she felt were the limitations of standard medical practices.
So it wasn't just an intellectual thing.
No, this was personal.
It was rooted in her own experience.
Exactly. And it was during that time, with all that stress and challenge, that she started looking for alternative therapies.
That's so interesting because it's like she wasn't just passively accepting the doctor's orders anymore.
No, I see you.
Pushing back.
Yeah, questioning authority.
It seems like a real turning point.
It was. It shaped her whole approach to health.
And that questioning led her down a pretty fascinating path, right?
Fascinating and controversial.
Right, into the world of vaccinations.
Mm-hmm.
And her research, it led her to believe that vaccines, they're not only ineffective, but potentially harmful, too.
She even digs into the whole history of vaccination.
Oh, wow.
Goes all the way back to Edward Jenner.
Oh, the father of vaccination.
Yeah, the one everyone credits with, starting it all.
Right.
But Desiree, she argues that Jenner's understanding of cowpox and smallpox, it was flawed.
Interesting.
And that flawed understanding, it laid the foundation for what she sees as a dangerous industry.
Whoa, that's a pretty bold claim.
It is.
So what evidence does she, use to back that up?
Well, one of her main arguments is that we see these outbreaks of diseases, even in populations where vaccination rates are really high.
Mm.
And she points to that as evidence against the effectiveness of vaccines.
Makes you think.
Yeah, and she suggests that the decline in infectious diseases, it's more likely due to things like better sanitation and living conditions.
Okay, so public health measures.
Yeah, exactly.
Instead of vaccines.
She even goes far as to say that the whole modern medical system.
That whole thing.
Yeah, she sees it as designed to prioritize profit over holistic healing.
Wait, hold on. How does she connect those dots?
Well, she points to the 1910 Flexner Report, which was this big report that evaluated medical education in the U.S. and Canada. And the report, it did lead to some important reforms.
Good.
But Desiree argues that it was also used by, powerful groups.
Like who?
Like the Rockefeller Foundation.
Okay.
To promote this chemical-based approach to medicine.
Ah, interesting.
And that paved the way for Big Pharma.
I see. So she's saying it was all about the money.
Yeah, essentially she argues that this shift away from more natural or holistic methods, it was driven by financial interests.
Not by what's best for patients.
Right, and this is where she starts advocating for functional medicine.
Okay, so what is that? What is functional medicine exactly?
It focuses on addressing the root causes of disease.
The root causes.
Yeah, and supporting the body's own natural ability to heal.
Instead of just treating symptoms.
Exactly, something she thinks conventional medicine has kind of ignored.
Okay, so she's not just against vaccinations, right? It sounds like she has a whole different view of, how the body works.
She does.
And what it needs to be healthy.
Totally different paradigm.
So what does functional medicine, what does that actually look like?
Well, it often involves making lifestyle changes.
Right.
Like changing your diet.
Yeah.
Managing stress.
Makes sense.
Desiree even tells this story about a doctor she knew who had success treating cancer patients with pancreatic enzymes.
Whoa, pancreatic enzymes for cancer?
Yeah, definitely not something you'd hear from your typical doctor.
No, that's definitely outside the mainstream.
It is.
Are there other examples like that, like alternative treatments she talks about?
Oh yeah, one of the big things she emphasizes is vitamins.
Vitamins.
Especially vitamin C.
Okay.
She presents it almost as this miracle cure.
A miracle cure.
Yeah, that's been, unfairly dismissed by conventional medicine.
Interesting.
And she points to its potential role in treating all sorts of illnesses, including polio. Even references historical examples of its effectiveness.
Huh. So she's really advocating for a completely different way of thinking about health and disease.
Oh, yeah.
It's a pretty radical perspective, to say the least.
It is, and it raises all these questions about, like, how we approach healthcare.
Yeah.
Who we trust.
Right.
What information we base our decisions on.
Huge questions. Huge questions.
And it seems like Desiree is all about empowering individuals to question the status quo, to look beyond conventional wisdom.
For sure.
And think critically, especially when it comes to their health choices.
That's her main message.
So she sees a lot of problems with how information about health is, spread around. And she suggests that there are these powerful forces at play.
Oh, yeah.
That might be suppressing alternative viewpoints.
That's her take.
And she even brings up the case of Andrew Wakefield.
Oh, right. The doctor who was basically ostracized from the medical community.
For suggesting a link between the MMR vaccine and autism.
Now, she doesn't necessarily endorse Wakefield's findings.
No, but she uses his story to illustrate this danger of silencing dissent and the importance of open scientific inquiry.
So even though she's presenting this very specific perspective, right? She's also advocating for a more critical and nuanced approach to understanding health and medicine.
That's her style.
Okay, so we've gotten a good overview of her stance on vaccinations and her skepticism toward conventional medicine.
Yeah.
But she doesn't stop there, does she?
Oh, no, not even close.
There's a lot more to unpack.
She goes even further, questioning the very foundation of how we understand disease. Challenging the traditional view of viruses.
Really?
And even venturing into the world of energetic healing.
Oh, wow. That's
a whole other deep dive.
That's a whole other deep dive.
Yeah, when she starts talking about viruses, it's like, whoa.
Really?
She doesn't just question their role in disease, She questions whether they even exist.
Exist? Like, at all?
As we understand them, yeah.
So, like, she's not just talking about the MMR vaccine and Andrew Wakefield?
No, this is bigger.
She's going further than that.
Way further.
Okay, so what's she saying?
Well, she brings up these things called exosomes.
Exosomes?
Yeah, they're these tiny particles released by cells.
Okay.
And she suggests that they might be what we're actually observing.
When we think we're seeing a viral infection.
Yeah, exactly.
So it's not like these external invaders,
right,
attacking our bodies.
It's like something happening within our own cells.
Causing the symptoms.
That's her theory.
That's pretty out there.
It is, and it ties into this whole terrain theory thing.
Terrain theory.
Yeah, it's basically this idea that flips the script on how we think about getting sick.
How so?
Instead of focusing on germs, terrain theory emphasizes the importance of our internal environment.
Our internal environment.
Like the health of our cells, our tissues, our overall systems.
Okay.
That's what determines whether we get sick or not.
So it's not about avoiding germs, it's about making sure your body is strong enough to handle them.
That's the idea.
Like building up your immune system.
Exactly. And Desiree takes it even further. She applies it to, like, the Spanish flu pandemic.
Spanish flu?
Yeah, she claims that the outbreak, the whole pandemic, it wasn't caused by a virus.
Wow.
But by the mass vaccination programs that were happening at the time.
Okay, so she's blaming the vaccines for the Spanish flu.
That's her interpretation.
That's a pretty controversial take.
It is, and it's important to say that, this perspective, it's not widely accepted in the scientific community.
Yeah, I mean, most historians and scientists agree that the Spanish flu was caused by a virus, right?
A highly contagious and deadly one.
Right.
But, Desiree's view, it's definitely thought-provoking.
Yeah, especially given her skepticism about vaccines in general.
Right, it all fits together.
And she doesn't stop at questioning vaccines and viruses, does she?
No, she goes on to link societal changes.
Societal changes?
Like women entering the workforce.
Okay.
To a decline in overall health.
Interesting.
Particularly for women.
So what's her argument there?
She suggests that the traditional dynamic between men and women, it got disrupted when women started pursuing careers outside the home.
So she's not a fan of women working.
Well, she criticizes the pressure on women to, have it all.
Right.
Suggesting it leads to delayed motherhood and increased stress.
Which negatively impacts their well-being.
That's her take.
So it's like this societal shift, while it's brought many benefits for women,
Sure.
it's also come with some unintended consequences.
Unintended consequences.
For their health and well-being.
Yeah, and she seems to, like, romanticize a time when roles were more defined.
You know, back when women were primarily focused on home and family.
Yeah, there's a bit of that.
But it doesn't sound like she's saying women should go back to being housewives.
No, not explicitly.
It seems more like she's encouraging them to, to be mindful of the potential downsides of modern life.
The downside.
And prioritize their health and well-being.
In the midst of all the demand.
Yeah, amidst all the chaos.
I think it's a fair statement.
It's like a call to be more in tune with your body. Listen to your intuition.
Yeah.
Make choices that support your overall health.
Both physically and emotionally.
Right, not just chasing external achievements.
That's right.
Okay, so we've covered her critiques of conventional medicine, her alternative theories about viruses and disease.
Right.
And even her perspective on societal changes and women's health.
Yeah.
It's a pretty wide-ranging set of beliefs.
It is.
And let's be honest, controversial.
Controversial, for sure.
And it's important to remember that, we're just presenting these ideas as a way to explore different perspectives.
Different perspectives.
Challenge our own assumptions.
Right.
We're not endorsing any particular viewpoint.
We're just trying to understand her world.
Exactly. But even though some of her ideas might seem,
wow,
far out there.
Up there, yeah.
She also offers some practical advice for those who are open to exploring alternative approaches to health.
She does. She does.
So it's not all just theory and critique.
No.
There's some action in there, too.
She's got solutions.
Okay, so what are some of the things she suggests?
Well, she talks a lot about detoxification.
Detoxification.
Both physically and emotionally.
Okay.
She believes that a lot of modern illnesses, they're caused by this buildup of toxins.
Toxins in our bodies.
Yeah, from environmental pollutants, processed foods, even negative thoughts and emotions.
So, like, linking physical toxins to emotional ones.
Yeah.
Like, our mental and emotional state plays a big role in our overall health.
A huge role.
Interesting.
She's a big believer in the mind-body connection.
Mind-body connection.
Yeah, and she sees things like meditation, mindfulness, energy work as crucial tools for healing and well-being.
So it's about addressing the whole person, not just the physical symptoms.
Exactly, a holistic approach.
And that holistic approach, it extends to her views on childbirth too, right?
Oh, yeah, big time.
What does she say about that?
She believes the birthing process is incredibly powerful.
Powerful.
Not just physically, energetically and emotionally. And she criticizes interventions. Like inducing labor or using pain relief.
Okay.
Suggesting that they can disrupt the natural flow of energy. Yeah, and interfere with the bonding process between mother and child.
Interesting. So for her, it's not just about getting the baby out safely.
No, it's about the experience.
It's about creating a positive and empowering experience for both the mother and the child.
Exactly.
And she talks about how, babies are super sensitive to their mother's energy during labor. And she believes that any stress or fear experienced by the mother...
Stress or fear.
It can be imprinted on the child, potentially leading to issues later in life.
That's her belief.
Wow, that's a powerful image.
It is.
And it really highlights her belief in the interconnectedness of everything.
Everything.
The physical, the emotional, even the energetic realms.
Yeah, she sees the body as this intricate web of energy.
A web of energy.
And any disruption to that energy can have far-reaching consequences.
Far-reaching consequences.
And that applies not only to individuals, but to society as a whole.
So it's not just about personal health, it's about the collective well-being of humanity.
That's right. And she sees a lot of problems with the way modern society operates.
Problems with modern society.
Yeah, particularly when it comes to our reliance on technology.
Technology.
And our disconnects from nature.
Interesting.
She believes that disconnect is contributing to a lot of health issues.
Health issues.
Both physical and mental.
So we're seeing this theme of interconnectedness play out on multiple levels.
Multiple levels.
From the individual body to society to our relationship with the natural world.
It's a pretty expansive way of looking at things.
It is, and it all comes back to her core message. The importance of observation.
Observation.
Critical thinking.
Yeah.
questioning the prevailing narratives that shape our understanding of the world.
Challenging the stories we're told.
Exactly. She's encouraging people to take ownership of their own health and well-being.
To trust their intuition.
Their intuition.
And seek out information beyond the mainstream.
Beyond the mainstream.
And for her, that often means challenging authority.
Authority.
Yeah, whether it's doctors, scientists, government officials.
She's not afraid to go against the grain.
Not at all. She believes true knowledge comes from personal experience.
Personal experience.
Independent research.
Yeah.
And a willingness to break free from,
From what?
From conventional thinking.
So it's a pretty radical approach.
It is.
But it's sure to resonate with anyone who's ever felt disillusioned with the status quo.
Disillusioned.
Especially when it comes to their health.
Especially when it comes to their health.
Yeah, it's like she's speaking to those who are searching for something different.
Exactly. And whether you agree with her conclusions or not, her story is a reminder that there are always multiple perspectives on these complex issues.
Always multiple perspectives.
And it's up to each of us to decide what resonates with us.
What resonates.
What information we find credible.
Yeah.
And what path we choose to follow.
On our own health journeys.
Exactly.
Now, before we wrap up our deep dive into Desiree Rover's world, let's explore some of the concrete steps she recommends for those looking to improve their health and well-being.
The practical stuff.
She provides some interesting insights into alternative approaches.
Alternative approaches.
And natural remedies that she believes have been overlooked.
Or even suppressed.
By mainstream medicine.
That's her take.
So we've talked about Desiree's critiques, her alternative theories, but what does she actually suggest people do?
Like if they want to take control of their health.
Yeah, what are the action steps?
Well, she's a big proponent of functional medicine.
Right.
And a big part of that is focusing on nutrition.
Okay.
And identifying potential food sensitivities.
So like figuring out what foods might be causing problems.
Exactly. She believes a lot of health issues stem from what we eat.
Yeah, that makes sense.
And she's particularly wary of processed foods. And artificial ingredients.
Okay, so basically eating clean.
Yeah, but it's more than that.
More than just eating healthy.
She ties it into this whole idea of detoxification.
Right. We talked about that.
Like cleaning up your diet is part of this bigger process of clearing out toxins from your body.
So it's not just about what you put in.
No.
It's about getting rid of the bad stuff too.
Exactly. She suggests that a lot of us are carrying around this burden of toxins.
A burden of toxins.
Yeah, from the environment, the food we eat, even the products we use.
Okay.
And these toxins, she argues, they disrupt the body's natural balance.
And that leads to health problems. So how do we get rid of these toxins? What kind of detoxification methods does she recommend?
Well, she mentions a few things. Fasting. Herbal cleanses, even colon hydrotherapy.
Colon hydrotherapy, that's pretty intense.
It can be, yeah.
So diet, detoxification, what else? Anything else in her arsenal of natural healing strategies?
Well, she's always talking about vitamin C.
Vitamin C, right.
Remember that story about the doctor treating cancer with pancreatic enzymes?
Yeah, I remember that.
She suggests that high doses of vitamin C can be really effective in boosting the immune system.
Okay.
Fighting off infections.
So like a superpowered immune booster.
Yeah, and she even claims it could be helpful in treating serious conditions.
Serious conditions? Like
polio and cancer.
Whoa, hold on. Are there any studies that show that?
Like actual scientific evidence to back up those claims.
Yeah, because that's a pretty big statement.
It is. And it's important to be cautious here. While some studies have shown potential benefits of vitamin C, particularly in supporting immune function, the research on its effectiveness in treating those serious diseases, it's still pretty limited.
Limited, so not really conclusive.
Exactly. Definitely an area where more research is needed.
More research is needed, yeah. But even if we, take the vitamin C claims with a grain of salt.
A grain of salt, yeah.
There's something really powerful about Desiree's message of personal empowerment.
I agree.
It's inspiring.
It is.
She encourages people to be active participants in their healthcare.
Active participants, not just passive patients.
Right, to do their own research.
Their own research.
And to question what they're told.
Especially if it doesn't feel right.
Yeah, trust your gut.
Exactly, trust your intuition.
She really emphasizes that.
She does.
Taking ownership of your health journey.
That's her mantra.
It's like she's saying, don't just blindly follow the doctor's orders.
Right.
Become an informed and empowered patient.
And that can be a really powerful shift in perspective.
It can, and I think it resonates with a lot of people.
A lot of people.
Who are feeling disillusioned with the current healthcare system.
Disillusioned, yeah.
Or who are seeking a more natural and holistic approach.
A more holistic approach.
So even if some of her specific claims are controversial.
The vaccines, the alternative treatments.
There's still a lot of value in that message.
The message of questioning assumptions.
Questioning assumptions.
Thinking critically.
Thinking critically.
Trusting your own inner wisdom.
Your own inner wisdom, yeah.
That's powerful.
It is. And at the end of the day, that's what we hope you take away from this deep dive.
From this deep dive.
We've explored a fascinating perspective.
Fascinating and challenging perspective.
On health and healing.
And we've looked at the strengths and limitations of both conventional and alternative approaches.
Right. It's not about picking sides.
It's about expanding our understanding.
And now it's up to you to decide what resonates with you. What information you find credible.
What feels true.
And what path you want to follow.
On your own health journey.
Exactly. There's no one-size-fits-all approach.
No one-size-fits-all.
It's about finding what feels right for you.
What feels right?
Based on your values, your beliefs, your individual needs.
Your individual needs.
And we encourage you to keep exploring.
Explore.
Keep asking questions.
Asking questions.
And stay open to new possibilities.
New possibilities.
The world of health and healing is constantly evolving.
Constantly evolving.
And there's always more to learn.
Always more to learn.
Well, that was quite a journey.
It was.
We covered a lot of ground today.
We did.
From vaccinations to viruses.
Viruses.
From detoxification to vitamin C.
Vitamin C.
From societal shifts to the power of personal intuition.
Wow, yeah.
We explored some unconventional ideas.
Unconventional ideas.
Challenged some common assumptions.
Challenged assumptions.
And hopefully sparked some critical thinking along the way.
Critical thinking is key.
And if nothing else, we hope this deep dive has inspired you to...
To what?
To look a little deeper.
Deeper.
To question a little more.
Our questions.
And to trust your own inner wisdom a little more boldly.
Boldly trust your inner wisdom.
After all, when it comes to your health...
Your health.
You are your own best advocate.
You are your own best advocate.
Thanks for joining us on this deep dive.
It's been a pleasure.
Until next time.
Next time.
Stay curious.
Curious.
Stay informed.
And stay well.
Stay well.